Next on Worcester News Tonight, a father-son duo charged in an armed robbery. Police say they crashed head-on into a cruiser while trying to escape. Plus, Westborough's Historical Commission's votes tonight on whether to approve a permit for the demolition of a historic home in town. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Those stories in just a moment. But first tonight, a Worcester man in possession of a gun, ammo, and drugs arrested by Massachusetts State Police. According to State Police, a trooper pulled over Javier Cruz for a routine traffic stop and arrested him for driving on a suspended license. The trooper then discovered a gun, ammo, and substances believed to be concentrated THC and marijuana in his car. Cruz faces charges including unlawful possession of a firearm, possession of ammo without an FID card, and possession of a Class C substance. A homeless father and son face a judge Monday. Police say they held up a Sutton Starbucks at gunpoint and led police on a small chase. The pursuit and their arrests producing some tense moments for police in two towns. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
What kind of robbery?
A father and son are arraigned Monday. Police say they robbed a Sutton Starbucks at gunpoint Saturday night.
Employee working there kind of thought it was a joke, didn't hand the money over at first, and then he brandished a firearm. Turned out to be a cap gun, but still showed a firearm that was very realistic looking. They were scared, handed the money over.
Witnesses gave police a description of the car, and within minutes, Northbridge Police Sergeant Carmen Borelli spotted the vehicle.
He stopped it first. I did a felony stop with firearms drawn, advising them to put their hands out the window. And I was going to wait until, backup arrived to secure everybody, but they decided they didn't want to wait, so they took off. Wallace
and William Nickerson led police on a short car chase until the two turned around in a driveway and hit Sergeant Borelli's cruiser head on.
The impact with the Cadillac was just with the passenger side front bumper. You can barely see it here because it's since been repaired with just some spray paint. Just some minor scuffing right there. Cruiser slid out, recovered quickly. He was maybe going 3 or 4 miles an hour. I just pinned my cruiser up against it so he couldn't flee the area.
Borelli says at first the two men were not cooperating, and they are lucky it ended as smoothly as it did.
The situation could have been very different if I didn't have the light of the cruiser illuminating the inside of the vehicle and a great view, because I was unsure what he was grabbing for, but as his hand came up, I could see it wasn't anything that resembled a firearm.
The 60 and 37-year-old are homeless and are being held without bail pending a dangerousness hearing. Defense attorney Kevin Quinlan says it wasn't the outcome they wanted.
Well, we were hoping that the court might see fit to set a reasonable amount of bail, but unfortunately they were found dangerous. We were disappointed with the results, but the defendants look forward to contesting the matter going forward.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A Southbridge man and woman are arrested Friday during a drug raid at an apartment on Cross Street. Southbridge police say the arrests come after long investigation by Southbridge police and SWAT members from Semlec. 26-year-old Yomara Vasquez and 36-year-old Elud Irizarry, who live in different apartments at 99 Cross Street, were arrested. Police say they found 3 unlawful guns, heroin, cocaine, and a bulletproof vest. A warrant has been issued for a third suspect in the drug trafficking ring who was not home at the time. Westborough's Historical Commission voting to delay a permit for the demolition of a historic home in the town. The Spur House was built in 1849. It's been owned by the town of Westboro since it's been donated in 1933. The American Legion had used the home as a meeting place, but it has been vacant since 2014. Selectman Ian Johnson told the commission the home has lead paint and asbestos issues, and it would cost more than $150,000 to rehabilitate. The town wants to turn the property into a parking lot for downtown. There was one offer to purchase the home for $115,000, but it wasn't accepted. Many of the residents who attended tonight were not happy with the idea of the home being taken down.
Beautiful house there, then having a parking lot. I don't see a lot of due diligence from our leadership in actually trying to save us. I see a lot of due diligence in creating cloudiness about making sure it gets converted to a parking lot.
People at the meeting suggested opening up the bidding again for the building. The demolition will be delayed for 180 days. An update to a story we brought you last week. City Manager Edward Augustus is weighing in on the opening of a new private club where members are allowed to smoke marijuana. The Summit Lounge opened Friday on Water Street. The club is a place where members can smoke anything legal in Massachusetts. The city manager says the club did not specify people would be smoking marijuana in the club. He says the city is issuing a letter to any business planning on opening a private marijuana club, saying they will be strictly enforcing all city codes and ordinances.
We have some concerns. I've heard from neighbors who have concerns. I've heard from people in the same building that they have concerns about how it's going to be regulated, how some of the, smells, crowds, other things are going to be managed in this private setting.
The city has also submitted written testimony to the Cannabis Control Commission, asking for cities and towns to have more control over private bring-your-own marijuana clubs. A new center at Becker College will give students more space to create video games and other technologies. It's part of the school's partnership with MassDiGi, and a federal grant helped to make it possible. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
Congressman Jim McGovern tests out a MassDiGi video game. The game is one example of what can be created at the new Venture Center.
All this innovation is going on, video game design, virtual reality. I mean, these are the jobs of tomorrow.
The center is a new space at Becker College and was renovated thanks to a $1.4 million federal grant. It officially opened for business Monday with a ribbon cutting. There are live studios, game centers, and virtual and augmented reality labs for Becker's partnership with MassDiGi.
This space allows us to do things that just a few months ago we weren't able to do.
Tyler Haddad interns for MassDiGi and says the new Venture Center is a game changer. He says it was difficult to collaborate with teams at the old space.
Now, this space is so much more conducive to that environment where it's shaped around that idea, so it's a lot easier to have team meetings or have a lecture.
Students here are creating things from video games to simulation games for disasters and emergencies.
It's not just all fun and games. These are serious games that can actually help educate professionals in particular fields.
McGovern hopes the grant helps create jobs to make Worcester's economy strong.
Becker College here leading the way and training a whole new generation in this area, because I want those jobs to be located here in the Worcester area.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A local bakery in Worcester is making it easier to express yourself to those you love or don't love this Valentine's Day. For the past 4 years, Crust has been crafting special Valentine's Day sugar cookies decorated with sayings like "I don't love you anymore" and "Love at first swipe." Owner Alexis Kelleher says the bakery created the cookies in response to how sappy Valentine's Day can be.
People maybe don't necessarily have someone in their life to share it with, or even if they do, it's just the forced love thing is just kind of nauseating sometimes. And so we kind of just took that to the next level with putting things on cookies that you might actually want to say to your partner.
The cookies will be available for purchase through the end of the week, and if you're wondering, they do take custom orders. The opening of a new restaurant in downtown Worcester brought hundreds out Monday afternoon. Stix Noodle Bar welcomed guests on their first day of business, adding to the growing food scene in the city. Our Cam Jandro has the story.
A line goes around the block as people wait to get in Worcester's newest restaurant.
You've got the hospitals around the corner, various businesses, so I think it's perfect timing for an entrepreneur like me to show up.
Stix Noodle Bar handed out free bowls of ramen on its first day. New England Craft Restaurant Concepts now owns 6 restaurants in the city. 3 are opening in 2018. CEO Frank Peace says the city's economic development has helped him as a businessman.
Well, Worcester is obviously experiencing a renaissance. I mean, we're in the middle of it right now, and that has allowed us to really kind of change the landscape of restaurants here in downtown Worcester.
Stix is just one of nearly 60 new spots to open in the last 2 years. City Manager Ed Augustus paid a visit to the Noodle Bar Monday, saying downtown is becoming a food hub.
More people coming and making downtown a destination, like coming hanging out for a while or after work or on the weekend. More people had to leave downtown to kind of have those interactions, and so these just provide options for that.
He says Stix prepared 1,000 bowls of ramen for people waiting, and those on their lunch break couldn't wait to get their hands on some.
I've seen lots of growth in this area, and I've definitely been looking forward to this opening. We've been hearing about it for a couple of months now, so I'm excited to try it out.
It's actually super exciting because we were just talking about how they're opening a new place next door too, and now we're gonna stay in Worcester this summer, so it's awesome.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
UMass Memorial Children's Medical Center giving patients a chance to feel like superheroes Monday. It's all part of a day of joy. Kids got to decorate donuts with players from the Worcester Railers, as well as receive new gowns designed to make them look like superheroes. Nurse manager Melissa Lumen says events like today's give patients a chance to get out of their rooms and have some fun.
Fun pieces of everything happening today. There's something for everybody, no matter where they're at in their process here or how long they've been here. There's a little something for everybody today.
The Joy in Childhood Foundation is supported by Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins.